Depression in America during this pandemic is through the roof, and now with the resurgence and the upcoming holidays, people not only fear losing their lives, but their livelihoods as well. So in tonight's Rebound Detroit, we look at how people are surviving in the midst of chaos and give you the tools you need from the experts to make it to a brighter future.
These are pictures of joy for LaTanya Carter, surrounded by the love of her life, her husband of more than 20 years, and their 2 adult children. But that joy turned to sorrow the last week of March when she could not breathe and after 20 hours of sleep was afraid to close her eyes.
I felt like I had a panic attack. I felt like I was going to die if I went back to sleep.
She went to the hospital, 1 check of her pulse, and the race was on.
They literally just snatched me out of the car and rolled me right in. And I really felt like that was the last time I was going to see my husband.
Hydroxychloroquine, 3 days on oxygen, and weeks in the hospital. But the return home, bittersweet.
I was literally in tears for days. I was thankful for being at home, but I still wasn't healed.
She heard countless news stories of people recovering, but for her, there was pain, fatigue, and barely able to walk.
I was very depressed.
More than 250,000 people have died from COVID-19, and symptoms of anxiety disorder and depressive disorder have increased considerably in the U.S., as discussed during the governor's press conference last week.
We have seen a tremendous increase in depression and anxiety in both adults and children since this pandemic has started.
Many feeling the mental drain, not just from the vicious spread of this deadly virus, but its major impact on our economy. Kathy Morrow is a clinical psychologist.
You start thinking about your livelihood. You start thinking about all your dreams feeling dashed. You start thinking about everything you thought that would happen for you may not happen.
Experts say 7% of small businesses will never reopen, but that number jumps to 40% if the business is owned by people of color. Laurel and Eric Ness have owned Jungle Java, an indoor play space for kids, for 18 years. Eric says when legendary actor Tom Hanks announced he was COVID positive, the bottom dropped out.
By Thursday, we were to a trickle, and by Friday, it didn't matter if they did a shutdown or not. We didn't have any business.
Eric and Laurel are optimistic their business model works, and once there's a vaccine, customers will return. Laurel is more concerned for employees.
And our waitress, she's a single mom. She said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no job after tonight. I feel worse and get more depressed thinking about those people.
How do you know when you're truly depressed or you're just sitting at home and a little sad? There's a difference, right?
Yeah, it's a difference. The thing is that the average person doesn't necessarily know they're depressed.
But here are the signs: lack of motivation, problem sleeping, lack of concentration and focus, and the danger zone.
You know you don't have a vision for a happy future as much. You're stuck.
Morrow says ask yourself 2 questions. First, what's the biggest challenge I'm facing during this pandemic? And 2, what aspect of it makes you feel the worst?
Once you identify, you can come up with possible solutions.
Maybe not today, maybe not next week, or even a year from now. For Eric and Laurel,
I do feel like people will come back to a business like ours now, where I'm not sure I felt like that in April, May, and June.
And for LaTanya, who came within inches of losing her life,
I try to look at every day as a blessing and look at the small accomplishments that I'm making.
Now, if you are struggling mentally right now and need help now, go to Psychology Today and click the link that says Find a Therapist. Plenty of experts work for low cost or for free during these times of need, or community mental health is another option for you.
Get the help if you need it, please.